What are the keys to having a modern talent attraction strategy and program?
Yeah, I think it's really having a holistic approach. Recruiting isn't just posting a job and seeing who comes out and it comes in your applicant tracking system anymore. It's also not just a proactive source and headhunt type of activity anymore either. It is integrated marketing. It's digital advertising. It's utilizing AI and technology the right way, right? It's having the machines do the machine work and the humans do the human work. And I think a lot, and I talk to dozens of companies a week, and the biggest problem that most of these companies are having is that they just, they had their heads down hiring the way they've always been hiring. And then one day they looked up and they go, oh my gosh, the world has changed and we're losing people and we're not attracting new talent. And who can help me? I think a big thing that pushed me to start Project Talent, and a big thing that pushed me and Brian to start Talent Brand Alliance, was that there are these new skill sets that are needed within recruiting and HR now. And there just aren't enough people that have that experience, right? And so, that's exactly why I started this. And I think through Talent Brand Alliance, me and Brian and our board are helping shape the next employer brand leaders in our industry and help each other grow. And we're expanding that knowledge and we're educating the industry about how to do employer branding well and what are some of the next practices or best practices that we can do, or how can we create sort of this open source sharing of knowledge, because there aren't many books written about it. There aren't a lot of standards out there. But there is, at least in our community, almost 1,000 people fully dedicated to doing employer branding across the globe that are coming together and sharing knowledge. And then through Proactive Talent, I think we help this modernization because we take this holistic approach. We understand that whoever helps you with employer branding has to deeply understand how recruiting works and the average day and workflow of a recruiter. And then for someone to help you with recruiting, you have to have an intimate knowledge of how to market those jobs and tell your culture story and brand you really well. And most vendors out there only do one or the other, right? You have marketing agencies that help do some creative, but maybe don't know a whole lot about hiring. And then you have hiring agencies that don't know a lot about marketing your positions, but boy, will they fling a bunch of resumes at your hiring manager until something sticks to the wall, right? And so these solving the same problem in two different ways right now is pretty much what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So let me ask I've got a few follow-up questions kind of along those lines, but one super simple one, which I don't know if there's a simple answer to it. So you're talking about employer branding. Many of our clients talk about it in terms of employer branding. We've got, your community, which is talent brand. Is it all employer branding? Is that the future of recruiting, inclusive of these marketing activities, or does that mean something different in different contexts, or maybe just to help put a point on it?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of misperception of what's employer branding versus recruitment marketing versus talent branding, right? At least the way we communicate it, talent branding is sort of inclusive of everything talent related. It could be recruitment marketing, employer branding, internal comms, employee advocacy, the programs aspect of employee communication, and really the difference between employer branding and recruitment marketing is very simple, right? Employer branding is the story. Recruitment marketing is finding the audience to listen to your story.
Okay.
Right. So recruitment marketing is that tactical, quick ROI. I mean, it's very measurable. It's I have a compelling narrative, the employer brand, and then I'm going to make very strategic ad purchases or run specific campaigns that just precision target the exact people who are going to be interested in that information. Mm-hmm. Whereas an employer brand is really ripping apart a company and deeply understanding like what makes them unique, What is their employee promise? What is their mission? Like, why would somebody want to work there? So employer brand is the why. Recruitment marketing is the how.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay, a couple follow-on questions to kind of the thread we were on just a minute ago. How does social play a part? So obviously, and this makes total sense to me that kind of the future of recruiting, or the reality that, you and your clients are kind of existing in right now, is inclusive of all these different activities. And you need to not only know how to recruit, but you need to know how to market, and, you need to have an understanding as to, what effective digital marketing is right now. But amongst that kind of ecosystem of channels and tactics and areas, where does social fit in your mind? How important is it? What parts of the process or the strategy does it really connect with?
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great question. I think social is important. It's not as important as it once was, I guess, in a way, but it's also more important than it ever has been in another way, right? And so when I started doing this thing 10 years ago, social was a competitive differentiator. I could get on there. I created that DreamWare Careers Facebook page, and literally and I built up, about 10,000 person community on there, and every one of those 10,000 people saw every time I posted something. Like, they saw it. It was in their feed. I got high engagement. A large percentage of everyone saw the content I was doing. That has decreased over time as more people get on social media, as it becomes more pay to play. I think social media has graduated. It is now just one of a multitude of channels in which to reach people. And there's a social media channel for every kind of person, right? Maybe if you're a millennial, it's like Snapchat or WhatsApp, or more that real-time, authentic communication that more mirrors how you really connect to people in real life. And for, folks of my generation or yours, maybe it's Facebook and Twitter, right? So to me, social is one of a multitude of digital channels, including text messages, email, newsletter type of marketing, online advertising, social, and then you have billboards, and then guerrilla. Like, it's all part of a multi-channel mix. And I think if you are very intentional about understanding who is your target audience or your talent persona, and who are the type of people that are successful at your organization, it's easy to kind of back that up and figure out what is the right channel mix for us. But for almost every segment, social is a part of that mix. And that especially is true when it comes to when you get to the point of employee advocacy, right? When you want your employees sharing that goodness and attracting other people, if you want to increase referrals, social media becomes paramount at that point, because social is word of mouth marketing now. And so it's the way that people share their excitement. The only thing is that most employers are still utilizing social the same way they do job advertising, spamming jobs. It's been going on for years, right? That's not useful. On social media, you are competing against cute puppies, Ryan Gosling, and sports clips, and all kinds of entertaining media, right? And if you're just going out there spraying jobs to the wide web on social without any targeting, you are wasting a lot of time, and frankly, less people will follow you as an organization because your content is boring as hell. And that's called YARP-content, yet another recruiting post, right? You have to have something compelling to say, and then tie it into your career experience and the jobs that you have. People can find your jobs. Social's not a place for it.